Free to succeed. Raid Shadow Legends. It's not about titties edition. Get out of here. What are you doing here? Little bastard. Flying around my face. You've got the whole world. You've got the whole rest of the world you could be flying around in, and you want to be in my face. You know what I'm saying? What's that about? All right, we've got a video about Live Arena that we're probably going to watch today. But there's something else I wanted to talk about real quick. We got to make a stop real quick. Remember when they were like, anybody that gets all 4 of the new Void Legendary Starter Champs is going to get like a cool reward? And we were like, oh, okay, so maybe it's going to be possible. It's not. It wasn't possible unless you were rich. So let's look at the reward that they're giving to the people who got all 4 of them. And I want you to keep in mind, Aethel was a 10x. Supreme Elaine was a frag fusion that was a little bit unnecessarily difficult, I would say, compared to other fragment fusions. Gallic, you had to win by having a lot of money. And who does that leave? Kale. Kale was a 110 guaranteed Void Shard event right after you probably blew all your shards to win Gallic. So you gave them, anyone that got all 4 of them, gave them thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? And lots of time. So let's look at the rewards that they're getting for that. 2 5-star chickens, 1 legendary tome, 50 void brews, 250 multi-battles, 5 energy refills, and 500,000 silver. And look, I understand that this probably only applies to like 8 people. Like, I get it. But that feels like the most disrespectful shit that they've done in a long time. The difference is it doesn't affect everybody. That's fucking crazy, bro. The amount of money that anybody that this applies to gave them, and this is the bullshit stack of rewards they're getting. They're not getting a cool avatar. They're not getting a skin. They're not getting anything limited time or unique or interesting. They're getting a fucking, what would be a decent promo code. Not even an amazing, it would be amazing by their standard, but that's not even an amazing promo code if we're gonna be real about it. They could have dropped that for everybody for the 4th anniversary event. That ain't shit. How you gonna do something like this? Is just like, again, over and over what I'm talking about. There's nothing going on up here at Plarium. There's nothing going on in the fun part of the brain. Nothing going on as far as creativity, nothing going on as far as fun. This is crazy. It's a bullshit promo code. Where's the cool thing that they get? Why not an avatar that's got all 4 of the starters' faces in it? You know what I mean? Like crowd in for a picture. Why not a skin for one of them? Why not shit, you know what I mean? I don't even know. I don't know. That's about all they've really lent themselves to, is skins and avatars. But I just thought that was worth talking about, because I feel like I would borderline be unwilling to claim this shit from the inbox. I think that's so disrespectful, man. Just such a lack of appreciation for playing along with their bullshit. I'm fired up and it has nothing to do with me. I didn't get one of them. It just pisses me off on principle. So if you're one of the people who got all 4 of them, you know, but that's a bummer. I hate it for you. It's cool that you got all 4 of them. I'm sorry, Plarium sucks so fucking bad at everything. It's a real shame. There was an opportunity to do some cool shit there, and they did none of it. So anyway, that's it. Let's now check out the live arena video and see how they're going to convince us it's going to be good. See what lies they're going to tell us to make us believe this is going to be good. All right, let me make sure I'm not going to like bleed into my mic.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our newest update
let's see what we got.
where we'll be shining a light on one of our most highly anticipated features. Prepare to enter the live arena.
Wait, let me get a look at that.
As
You might show it
always,
again.
let's cover the basics first. Live Arena is a new arena mode where you can engage in real-time PvP battles against other players. While that's incredibly awesome by itself, Live Arena also comes with new quests, new artifact sets, as well as a Great Hall expansion, where you can use special Live Arena crests you earn from winning battles to unlock additional bonuses. I know, I'm excited too. You'll unlock Live Arena once you
quick note on that. Like, that's good on the surface. That's great, but really, what that's doing too. Now that we've had a little bit of time to think about it, I think what that's going to do is be like probably necessary to get into the later stages of the hard dungeons. Because like Fire Knight, I know right now is in a real tough spot. I think they kind of fucked up on Fire Knight, and the other hard dungeons are, I guess, fine. I've messed around in Dragon a bit. As far as I know, Spider's fine. I don't know much about Ice Golem, but either way, like they're not going to stop at 10. We know that, right? They're going to probably work their way up to like a 25, just like they did with the normal ones, which is going to get insane, right? And I feel like this second Great Hall is going to be, it's going to be like mandatory to stand any kind of chance in these dungeons. And that's kind of tough, man. That's kind of tough to like, even if it's end game content, it's kind of tough to lock PvE content behind PvP content, because some people just don't like doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Some people just don't like arena. Nobody likes tag team arena. And there's going to be people that are just really not into this, right? It's because this is very competitive. This, you're on your own, regular arena, you know what I mean? You're on your own, no one's watching, no one else is engaging with you, really. You do what you got to do, and it's fine. Live arena, you've got to connect to someone else and fight them, and a lot of people just aren't comfortable with that. You know what I mean? There's going to be people that don't want to play this at all, which means if the only way to get those points for that secondary Great Hall is through live arena, that's going to kind of suck. You know what I mean? It's going to kind of be a bummer. But maybe it won't be. Maybe you can also get the points still from regular arena. Maybe it'll be the same points. I don't know. But we'll see.
Level 50, and it'll be open several times a day. Our first idea was to have this as an always-on feature, but in development, we found it caused problems finding matches quickly and reliably. So, our plan is to open Live Arena on a set daily schedule.
I also don't think that that's accurate. I think if they've got as many players as they say they do, that would never be a problem. I mean, maybe in development, I don't know why it would have been a problem in development. I don't know if they've got a test region that they put shit out to, but if they've got as many players worldwide as they say they do, I can't imagine it would be that big of a problem. Unless the game mode sucks, right? And unless no one wants to play it. I think having it all, like having these windows open too, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think it's better. Maybe they'll work their way to having it always open, but I don't know. We'll see. I feel like having these gates again just kind of locks some people out more. Everybody doesn't have a wide open schedule to work around what Plarium's doing with this stupid ass game. You know what I mean? So like, maybe it'll be open for a couple hours a day, but maybe most people are gonna be at work when it's open. Maybe most people are gonna be asleep when it's open. Like, so again, all that's fine unless you start locking content behind it. Unless you start, you know, unless you make it part of this, you add a mission to it, or again, unless the second part of the Great Hall, which again is very later game stuff, and most players are not going to max their Great Hall anyway. But the point still stands. Ultimately, I think it's a bad idea to lock PvE content behind PvP content. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what they do.
Schedule, so we can ensure you won't have huge wait times when finding a match. To make sure everything's working correctly ahead of its grand opening, we'll be running a Live Arena test launch with a limited group of players. You can see the schedule for this test on screen now. As for the full launch, here's the schedule on screen. Live Arena will open in 2-hour windows, which should give you more than enough time to get your battles in. Remember, the full launch schedule is subject to change, and we'll of course let you know if and when it does. Enough talk. How do I start fighting? Like Classic or Tag Arena, initiating a Live Arena battle costs a Live Arena token. You can have a maximum of 5 at any given time, and you can purchase a refill with gems if you run out. Each new refill will cost more than the last one, though both the refill price and your default Live Arena tokens reset each day at midnight UTC. So your tokens are burning a hole in your pocket. Let's get to the juicy PvP fun. Once you hit the Find Opponent button, the game will find a worthy combatant of a similar skill level within your current Live Arena tier.
We'll see.
To make matchmaking as fair as possible,
We'll
matches
see
are
about
found
that.
based on both your average and most recent performance data. Once you're matched with a suitable opponent, you're on to the first phase of battle. This
I
is
will
where
be blown all the way away if the matchmaking is good here. I will be blown all the way away. Because they've yet to figure it out for the other game modes. So if they figured it out for Live Arena, I will be very impressed.
you pick your champions, and where the mind games truly begin.
Drop
A
them.
coin flip decides who picks first, and then each player takes a turn picking champions from their roster.
I feel like this is probably not. I don't know. Maybe level 75 is plenty. I know if I've got in my arena, if I've got a list of players that are level 100 and one that's level 75, I'm hitting level 75.
Decides who picks first, and then each player takes a turn picking champions from their roster. Both players go back and forth until they both have a team of 5. Then each player gets to ban a single champion from the opposing team. That means that champion won't be taking part in the battle, bringing teams down to 4. In bronze and silver tiers, you can use duplicate champions. Once you hit gold, though, all champion picks must be unique across both teams. That means no duplicate champions at all. You can use all sorts of devious tricks during this phase.
Why, though? I mean, okay, fine.
Conceal your intended strategy. Pick decoy champions to trick your opponent into banning a champion you weren't going to use. Deliberately pick champions to take them off the tricks during this phase. Conceal your intended strategy. Pick decoy champions to trick your opponent into banning a champion you weren't going to use.
Oh, okay.
Deliberately pick champions to take them off the table for your
I'm
opponent.
missing. I thought he was saying there's like a thing where like you can make it look like you picked a champion you didn't pick, or something. What?
These are endless. Just be aware that these same tricks are being used against you. Finally, each player selects their team leader. As with all other game modes, the team leader's aura skill will empower the rest of your champions. So, choose carefully. Don't take too long considering your strategy. Each of these phases has a time limit, and the game will decide for you if the time runs out. Once the teams are locked in, it's time to battle. In terms of the battles themselves, there's no mechanical difference between Live Arena and Classic Arena. The turn order of champions is determined by their speed stat and various turn meter manipulation skills. And each champion takes a turn and uses skills like they always do. But while the mechanics may be the same, you're now fighting a real human instead of an AI. So be prepared for anything. Watch the clock when choosing your skills. You've got 15 seconds to make your choice. If you don't decide in time, well, the game will. Fail to take your turn 3 times in a row, and you'll go into auto battle mode until you assume direct control. There's an overall time limit for every battle, too. Fail to finish within 30 minutes, and both players will be credited with a loss. Stalling isn't a viable strategy, and you'll want to fight as many Live Arena battles as you can while it's open. Now, let's take a look at why you'll want to play Live Arena. As if the thrill of testing yourself against real
30 minutes is a
wasn't
really long time, dude. So, like, that's just a really long time. That's strange. Maybe there's a reason. I don't
Winning
know.
Live Arena battles gets you Live Arena points and Live Arena crests. We'll go on to crests in a minute. As for points, earning these will see you advance through the different Live Arena tiers, from bronze to gold. For now, there's no platinum tier. Once you reach silver 1, losing battles will lose you points. If you don't fight at least 1 Live Arena battle for 5 days, you'll start to lose 5 Live Arena points each day until you fight another battle. There are also repeatable Live Arena quests that give you various rewards, including a Live Arena token refill and new artifacts. On top of that, we have multiple one-time rewards for reaching certain point milestones, ranging from a fancy new avatar to even a legendary champion. Speaking of artifacts, let's pause and take a closer look at the new sets available from Live Arena: Impulse and Zeal. Impulse artifacts increase your champion's speed and provide a chance of reducing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn.
Wow.
It's a great set for nukers, healers, pretty much anyone with skills you want to use as often as possible. Then we have Zeal artifacts. They increase the champion's critical damage by 25% and have them dealing more damage if their target still has high HP. It should give your attackers and nukers a little extra punch to take down champions in one shot. Both these sets will be available in the reward chests you get for winning 35 Live Arena battles. This is a regular quest, so you'll be able to farm these artifacts so long as you keep winning. Finally, let's return to those shiny Live Arena crests. You can spend the crests you win in Live Arena battles to unlock area bonuses in the Great Hall. Here's how they work. Live Arena crests come in bronze, silver, and gold, just like classic arena medals. The first 3 levels of any area bonus are upgraded with bronze crests. Levels 4 to 6 need silver, and everything else needs gold. You can also use higher tier crests to unlock lower tier bonuses, just like with classic arena medals. You might also notice that with the introduction of area bonuses, the old bonuses earned by spending arena medals have had a name change. These are now called affinity bonuses because, as the name suggests, they boost the stats of champions of a specific affinity. We'll give you 3 guesses as to what area bonuses do. That's right.
I guess that also gives him room later to add a type bonuses
but only
tab.
in specific locations. For example, upgrading the attack bonus slot in the Potion Keeps row will, you guessed it, increase your champion's attack when fighting in the Potion Keeps.
So wait.
Area bonuses will all...
So then it would seem reasonable that you shouldn't need to max out your Great Hall to unlock that. If it's a totally different currency and a totally different game mode, then I would think you wouldn't need to max your Great Hall for
also
it.
give you the option to increase your champion's speed and even give them the ability to ignore a portion of enemy defense. Remember the hard mode dungeons we talked about in the previous What's Next in Raid episode? Area bonuses will be a huge help in farming those locations.
Yeah, we know.
And the best thing? Area bonuses apply to a champion's base stat directly, just like affinity bonuses. Add all these bonuses together, and you'll be super strong when fighting in certain locations. Bosses, fear my wrath. Okay, that's all there is to tell about Live Arena for now. We can't wait to see the changes to Raid's PvP scene, and we hope you all have a blast. We want to add a few things in future iterations, so keep an eye on the news too. Until then, hit like and subscribe to keep on top of new videos. Happy raiding.
I mean, look. If we just take away the fact for a minute, like if we just forget history for a minute, it looks good. Overall, I think a lot of it looks good. The Great Hall thing, I think, is an interesting thing. I think that's an interesting approach. It does ultimately feel kind of like they're working toward locking some PvE content behind the PvP content. And again, if that's like the way that they want to do it, then that's their business. You know what I mean? Like, I personally wouldn't do it like that, but it's not my game. So I reckon it'll still be fine. What'll be interesting to see is if I missed if he said if you have to have this maxed before you unlock that next tab. It would make sense that you wouldn't have to have it maxed, since it's a different tab with a totally different currency. It makes sense if like it was these same medals, because then it seems like you would need to spend all of them here before you could start spending them there. But I don't know, we'll see. But I mean, I think it's going to be fun. I do think it's going to be pretty fun. We'll have to wait and see what the matchmaking is like. I don't know that I care too much about the rewards and the new champ. I think they posted some information for us about the new champ, but I reckon you've all seen videos on the details of that by now. So I'll probably just pop in and take a look at it later. Looks like he's a Void attack legendary for Bannerlords. They're summarizing him as a good PvP and live arena champ, so we'll see. I mean, it looks cool. It does look cool. It looks like it's a cool. It's a big new addition to the game. It's something fun for everybody to do for a while. I hope that as time goes forward, they'll work on it, adding some things to it. I think maybe if they just had ranking periods, maybe that were open in these windows, but had like, you know, quick match that was always open. Because I mean, as long as there's a cancel button, I don't care how long matchmaking takes. If I want to do a live arena battle, I'll sit in the queue for a minute. Can't imagine it would be that bad. But I think it would be nice to have like a quick match option that doesn't affect your ranking or anything. Maybe you don't even earn points or anything from it. It's just like practice. Have that open all the time, and then have the ranking windows open up over time. I think if I don't think they said anything specifically about it, but I think at some point they'll need to add the ability to challenge specific people. Maybe even give us the option to create brackets and stuff so that some of the content creators could host tournaments and, you know, do some fun shit like that. But I think I do think it's going to be fun to mess around with. I am very excited to like see it develop and see what the top players do. It's going to be different than Arena. Like, obviously, there's going to be a lot of the same faces, right? There's some champs that are just going to be good at it, and that's the way it is. But I don't think you're going to see the exact same things as regular Arena. It's a lot different when there's two people on the other side making decisions every turn, right? So we're going to see some interesting plays, probably going to see some interesting new comps and new champs getting some shine. So there's a lot of potential for it to be a lot of fun. I think overall it's a great thing. Overall, I think it's great. And I mean, most players are so far away from the even being able to farm all of the level 10s or the hard dungeons. We're a long way away from, like, you know, getting new levels and people tackling those new levels en masse. So it won't be a problem for a long time, if it ever even is a problem. And who knows, maybe they'll make some adjustments over time. The way that this tends to go is the longer the game is out. I mean, it's been out for 4 years. Like, that's a while. What usually kind of starts to happen after a few years is they start to implement things to kind of start to give players the opportunity to close the gap a little bit faster. So like a new player can catch up. You'll never catch up to the top. You know what I mean? Unless you're a whale, you just won't. But like to close that gap and like get into the late/end game faster, that tends to be how it goes. For example, Summoner's War. I've got a new account in Summoner's War that's a little over a month old. I just accomplished something yesterday on my barely month-old account that I hadn't accomplished in 3 years on my old account. Granted, it was hard. It was very difficult to do. But that's what I mean. Enough systems have changed. Enough content's been added on top of it that, like, now they've made it a little bit more doable if you know what you're doing and you pull some of the right champs and you have to know what you're doing a little bit. But anyway, I'm kind of waiting on that for Raid. I don't feel like that's really here in Raid. As much as they do for new players, I don't know that they've done that a ton, really. Maybe the summoning events all the time, you could argue, helps. I don't know. I don't feel like progression is too much different than it used to be, though. I guess you can let me know what you think. I guess we'll find out soon. Like, we've been kind of flirting with the idea of starting a new account, a new series. So maybe we'll find out soon what it's like to be a new player for real. Because I've started a couple of new accounts to like make jokes and stuff, but I haven't started a new account in a while. So maybe we'll wait on the next like 7-day login thing they do. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are, but anyway, overall, as it always does in those videos, it looks very promising. We'll have to see what it looks like in action. We'll have to see how they monetize it, because I mean, we know they're gonna come up with a way to monetize it. And I guess that's it. I'm so annoyed about this shit, man. It has nothing to do with me. But for the 8 or 9 people it affects, I am very frustrated on behalf of. I think that is so ridiculous. ridiculously unimaginative and lazy and dismissive. It's not even enough to build one of them. At least give them enough chickens to 6-star one of them. One skill tome? Rough. Later.